The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Skamania Fire District 3, Washington, on your new Pierce Fire apparatus, job number 38288. Please utilize this 5-digit job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. We'll get started on a brief orientation. Starting first with a view of the front of the vehicle, we'll go next up onto the brow of the apparatus where we'll identify items within this area. Starting first with 5 identification clearance lights at the top of the vehicle, along with a forward-facing brow light, an emergency warning light, and 2 go lights. Located within the grille, 2 forward-facing emergency warning lights. Moving now down to the front bumper area where you'll find an extended front bumper, storage for your front discharge with a swivel discharge, dry deck material, and Velcro to secure your hose. Moving now under where you'll find a right and left open-ended tow hooks. Moving to the driver's side, you'll find a air horn recessed within inside the front bumper. On the side of the front bumper extension, you'll find an emergency warning light side facing. Moving up to the hood area, you'll find the air inlet. Moving to the headlight structure, housing a low and high beam headlight and turn indicator. Moving to the rear portion near the A-pillar is where you'll find the release mechanism for the hood. Over the fender, you'll find a turn indicator marker light. Front wheel, you'll find Alcoa wheel and Michelin tires. Moving now to the A-pillar where you'll find your mirror housing a flat and convex mirror. Moving to the stepwell area where you'll find the silver cap, which is your ultra low sulfur diesel fill location. The blue cap, which is your DEF fill location. And just above that, when plugged into Shoreline power, the battery indicator will illuminate, indicating battery status. Here's some close-ups of the fuel and DEF location, in addition with a close-up of the auto charge status center. Moving now to just under the stepwell where you'll find a extendable, movable step. Also, as we move to the interior, you'll find attached to the door panel safety and warning placard information. At the very top of the door panel, your mirror control. Moving now into the cab at the floor area is where you'll find the battery switch. This is the master battery switch, quarter turn. Seat is an air ride with comfort controls located on the front section of the seat. Located within the cab area, you'll find this yellow placard indicating the date of manufacture, 5-digit job number, gross vehicle weight rating, and cold tire inflation. Also all of the fluid capacities in addition with the VIN number. Moving now to the upper left-hand side of the dash where you'll find your cruise control activation, set excel for coast and accelerate, also your headlight control, and then increase and decrease for speed. Also located within this area is your keyed ignition and indicator. Moving now to the dash cluster on the left, you'll find oil pressure, water temperature, and transmission temp. In the center, tachometer and speedometer. Diagnostic information displays above those 2 items, in addition with fuel and DEF level, front and rear air brake pressure. Moving just to the right of the steering column, you'll find the air filter indicator. Moving further to the right, a lock for your rear locker. Moving down for your Allison transmission pad, digital readout push button. Moving to the right, your pump shift, indicating 2 green indicators, pump engaged and OK to pump for pump operations. There are instructions for its use just to the right. Yellow diamond, which is your rear spring brake. Moving up to the Pierce display, indicating red is someone in the seat and not belted, green they're in the seat and belted. AM/FM weather band radio. Moving now down to several switches here, which are going to be for a variety of things. Your diff lock, all-wheel drive, DPF regen, door locks, and window control. Down at the very bottom, you'll find your air horn, high idle, indicator, and also mirror heat. Moving further down for climate control for heat, air conditioning, and defrost, you'll also find in the very top section control for the go lights or on top of the roof, your fire comm system, and also the rear traffic advisor. Moving to the rear of the console, you'll find additional 12-volt access via USB on both the passenger and driver's side. Further back, you'll find resource locations. Moving overhead in the cab, you'll find a backup camera monitor. Also, as we move to the center, all of our emergency warning lights, and also side and scene lights for the rear. Moving further to the right in the upper portion, you'll find siren control and PA speaker system. Moving in the very center, a red indicator if it's flashing, indicating do not move your apparatus. You may have a compartment door open. Firecom headsets, both front and rear, wireless. SCBA bottle storage location for your air packs in the very back, 3 forward-facing seats. Let's go ahead and move back to the exterior now. We'll start at the base of the rear cab area where you'll find your steps, in addition with an emergency warning light lower zone. Moving up inside the space of the rear cab, where you'll find affixed to the door panel safety and warning placard information. Moving inside, you'll find additional storage in the area beneath the seats. Let's go ahead and move now to the exterior, where you'll find at the very top your red or booster line, grab handles for gaining access, and also steps on the vertical surface. Let's go ahead and cover some of the items within the pump area. First, starting with the Husky foam system. This is your specifications, and right next to it is the foam system instructions. Also, minimum operation maintenance schedule for 150, 200, and 250 psi. Moving to the right, you'll find the pump intake gauge and pump discharge gauge. These are the two master gauges at the top of the pump panel, along with the vacuum and pressure test gauge ports, which are currently plugged and are utilized for testing purposes. Let's move downward and toward the front of the vehicle, where you'll find the front discharge, Speedlay 1, Speedlay 2, all foam capable. Moving further to the right, reel discharge, driver rear discharge, and deluge discharge. Moving further to the right, engine cooler, tank fill and recirculating line. In the switch panel, you'll also find an indicator indicating that it is okay to pump, along with an air horn and reel rewind. Pressure throttle governor, along with a speaker for any audible alarms that may be sounding. Tank to pump. As we move just down to the left of that location, you'll find a wheel valve. This controls the large diameter passenger side discharge, along with the foam level, water level indicators, and also the Husky 3 foam system module. Instructions for its operation on the placard itself. Moving further to the left, you'll find the number 1, number 2, and number 3 2.5-inch discharges. Here's a close-up of those two discharges for number 1 and number 3. You'll also find a warning placard indicating caps may be under pressure. Be cautious when opening them. Also, a rear direct tank fill electronic valve located for open and close. Warning placard indicating fall hazard when climbing onto the vehicle or off the vehicle. Always face the vehicle. Large diameter pump inlet is the Pierce American flag Eagle logo. Moving further to the right, you're going to find a warning for caps may be under pressure. Be cautious with opening them, and also an entanglement hazard. Shoreline inlet, this is an auto eject 20 amp. Moving further to the right, minimum operation maintenance schedule, along with a 2.5-inch locally controlled ball valve tank inlet. Moving further to the right, a warning regarding foam failure. Do not mix different brands or consistencies of foam, along with your foam draft and tank lever. Moving down to the lower corner, you'll find the pump drain, along with the Watrous placard, indicating the capacity of 1,250 GPM. You'll also find a pan door located here. Lift and turn latch will gain you access into this space. This is where you'll find your foam operations. There are instructions on the back of the door for foam fill or operation level. Only trained personnel should operate this piece of equipment, and that's only after proper training. As we move down, you'll find a pull-out standing board here at the bottom of the running board. Underneath that, you'll find the foam pump discharge drain and foam pump intake drain. Now we'll take a look at the body section here. First, we have all compartments closed. At the very top section, you'll find an LED light bar for a scene light side facing. All compartment doors are open. Let's go ahead and go into the very first compartment at the front side of the body. We'll find affixed to the rear wall your battery charger and air compressor. When plugged into shoreline power, both of these items will become active. As we move to the lower section, you'll find adjustable shelves and a pull-out tray at the very bottom and a pull-out tray in the upper portion. Now the overwheel compartment, an adjustable shelf, LED lighting. Forward of the axle, you'll find SCBA bottle storage for 2 SCBA bottles with retaining straps. Over the rear axle, lower zone, side-facing emergency warning light. To the rear of the axle, 2 SCBA bottle storage location. Just in front of the axle, marker turn indicator light. Moving to the rear of the axle, Michelin tires, Alcoa wheel. Now moving to the rear portion, you'll find an additional compartment housing a shelf, ventilation, LED lighting, and the shelf is adjustable. In the lower section, there are 2 shelves. Just underneath this area is where you'll find your wheel chock storage location. Moving now back up to the very top section where you'll find a side-facing scene light and a 360-degree emergency warning light. We're now moving to the rear portion of the apparatus. We'll start at the very top of the apparatus and move our way down, first starting with an emergency warning light. Just underneath this area is where you'll find the hose bed lights, along with the brake, turn, reverse, and emergency warning light. Moving to the rear section of the tailboard, on the driver's side, you'll find a pull-out and drop-down step, additional steps to gain access to go aloft on the vertical wall surface on the driver's side. Moving toward the center of the apparatus, you'll find 2 emergency warning lights, traffic advisor, rear discharge, a couple of warning placards located here. First warning regarding entanglement hazard. Because the line's coming from aloft, there's the possibility of an entanglement. Also fall hazard, never out on the vehicle while it's in motion. And also fall hazard when climbing on or off the vehicle, always face it. Moving just to the right of this location, you'll find in the very center a recessed backup camera, along with your traffic advisor just above that. Direct tank fill, 2.5-inch female. That's controlled at the pump panel via the electric valve. As we move into the roll-up compartment door, adjustable shelf, and a pull-out tray in the lower section. Let's go ahead and move around now to the passenger side of the vehicle. We'll identify a few items within this area. Moving now to the passenger side, where you'll find all of our compartments closed, and now we have them all open, exposing the items within those compartments. Let's start first at the very top. You have a 24-foot and 14-foot ladder, along with a 10-foot attic ladder and additional pike poles on the ladder rack. Also to the rear compartment, a through compartment, adjustable tray, and also shelving. Overwheel compartment, we do have a tool board located here. To the rear of the axle, SCBA bottle storage, emergency warning light just over the rear axle. As we move forward to this location, additional SCBA bottle storage. Moving just down from this location, you'll find a marker turn indicator. Along with this also, we're going to find our exhaust location. Moving forward to this location, you'll find adjustable shelves, LED lighting, and ventilation. Also within this compartment, when plugged into shoreline power, this outlet will become active. Just a warning regarding exhaust: extreme hot diesel exhaust temperatures do exist. Be cautious where you park your vehicle, especially during regen operations. As we start now to the midsection of the apparatus, we'll start first at the very top section of the pump panel, where we'll find a warning placard. Because those lines coming from aloft, there is the possibility of entanglement. We have an additional warning placard. This is the powered equipment rack. There is instructions for its operation to raise and lower, in addition with caution and danger placard. 2.5-inch discharge controlled from the driver's side, along with a warning placard. Caps may be under pressure. Be cautious when opening them. As we move down, you'll find the large diameter pump discharge. And then moving forward to that location, the American flag Pierce logo Eagle is your large diameter pump inlet for the passenger side. Also, all of our color-coded and labeled discharge drains, along with pan door for gaining access behind the pump panel. Let's go ahead and take a look inside. This is the location where you'll find your relief valve and settings. Down to the very bottom, color-coded and labeled discharge drains. Auxiliary 2.5-inch, locally controlled via the ball valve, female inlet. Crosslays are located here directly behind the cab area. As we move now to the forward section of the truck into the cab space, at the very top section, you'll find go lights controlled from both passenger and driver side. There are two, along with cab side-facing scene lights in the upper portion or the rear cab door. A downward-facing mirror, along with a flat and convex mirror. Moving to the rear cab area, grab handle, easily accessible with a gloved hand, is the door lock and latch combination. On the door panel, you'll find affixed to the panel safety and warning placard information. Moving now into the rear section of the cab, at the very bottom section, you'll find a step area. In addition, as you move into the cab area at the base of the seat, you'll find additional storage locations just under the seat, access from both the side and also from the front portion. As we move now into the front seat or captain space, step location with lighting. As we move to the forward section A-pillar, it's where you'll find the release mechanism for the hood. Moving to the fender, you'll find your marker turn indicator at the very top of the fender. Moving forward, Alcoa wheel and Michelin tires. Moving to the headlight structure, low and high beam headlights along with turn indicator. Moving to the forward portion of the bumper extension, you'll find an emergency warning side-facing light. General view here of the entire vehicle. Congratulations, Skamania Fire District 3, Washington, on your new Pierce fire apparatus. If you have any questions, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Thank you and congratulations.